Good morning, everybody. We are on day 14, so we've officially done 2 weeks, and I'm so proud of everyone for everything you've done so far. Now, a lot of different things can be brought up, and as I said, this isn't just themes for this yoga class. This really does continue into our everyday life, and I really want you to start bringing this, or continuing to bring this balance, this strength, this power, this self-assurance of your own protection, and really setting boundaries as well, and knowing that setting these boundaries isn't affecting our core self. So as promised, we are now ready to start our animalistic journey. This is our journey of our innate being. In a sense, it can be our survival, it can be our instincts, it can be our gut, it can be reactions. And all of this just happens. We have this fight or flight response, and sometimes these can be over triggered, and everything we then think is a danger. And actually, they say that when animals initiate this fight or flight response, say a zebra is getting chased by a lion, it will run. But then once it's out of danger, the response is shut off. But actually in humans, we can't shut off the response the same. We process it, we ruminate, we overthink about what's happened. And that is something unique to us. So we're bringing back in this animalistic nature of, yeah, we got out, we survived, or we had a little bit of a worry, but this isn't going to determine who I am, because we've worked on our core self, we've worked on our self-love, and this being that is us, this shape. And this shape is never going to change, regardless if we're running or if we're going really slowly. So, a lot of information. We're going to start again, top of the mat, wherever works for us. Putting this energy again into the world. Keeping our knees and our feet straight forward, just bouncing and swinging the arms forward. Start thinking about where you are emotionally today, and allow this to affect your movement. Knowing how you come is completely okay. Start thinking about what you want to release, what's this fight or flight response maybe that's been triggered, this worry or this self-doubt, whatever's kind of coming up for you right now, no matter how big or small. Something that may have happened in the past, or something you may be worrying about happening in the future. Right now, we're coming into our animal. We don't need to think, we don't need to ruminate about this, we just release. So really allow your hands to brush down your knees. As we rid it from our body, we rid them from our mind. And as we're bouncing again, shaking with the energy that we have, this can be full of energy, it can be quite slow and quite gentle. Being kind to ourselves and giving ourselves what we need. We start to remember the shape of our core again. And really engage with our inner being, our inner shape, our inner colour. Noticing what colour the shape is today without forming any judgment. Just begin to swing the arms up and down, allowing them to swing back and forth. Noticing your natural breath and doing what feels right for your body. As we focus on our core, the shape and the colour. As we start to bring our arms into circles, coming up through our centre, above our head, coming out like the sun. We're imagining our core centre, our colour and who we are. We're letting this radiate out through our arm movements, knowing that who we are is enough. And allow that movement to slow down, however feels right for you. And when we stop bouncing our knees, we're gently swinging our arms side to side, feeling the contact with ourselves. And then the distance as our arms come out as we swing. With every touch, we're reminding ourselves of our self-care, our protection, how we preserve ourselves. And every time our arms move away from our body, we're imagining the wings of a bird that are being supported by the air. We're noticing how we're reacting in the environment, and we're creating clear boundaries, a circle around our body, as we're looking at the circles in today's session. The circle energy of the sun, of us being enough, is continuing now across our body. We're touching ourselves, we're reminding ourselves we're here and we're delivering self-care. But our arms are able to go out to protect and ward off, push away. But they're not aggressive. My arms are gentle, my boundaries are gentle, but they are there. They're not done out of malice, but they're done out of love for self and others. We again let that gently relax down till we're standing still. Our body is in line, we're lengthening up towards the sky, we're feeling the rooting on the earth beneath us as we notice all 4 areas of our feet. And with an inhale, my hands are coming up into a prayer, lifting up, and exhale, I'm folding down, allowing my knees to be bent and straighten. Bend and straighten. Whether we inhale, I'm bending, and whether we exhale, I'm extending. Allowing my head to relax downwards. Allowing my body to relax and warm up. Feeling the length in the back of the leg. And knowing it's completely okay. On our next bend, we're going to lift our body, keeping our legs where they are, to come into chair position. Feeling the engagement of our core, so we're not ducking, but we're engaged, lengthening down, feeling supported and grounded on the floor beneath us. Finding the length in the neck, imagining our core shape, zipping ourselves up. So exhale to standing. Inhale, breathing up again. Exhale, folding down, bending our knees. Inhale, coming up to chair position. Engaging the core, exhale, coming up. Doing that a few more times. Inhale, breathing up. Exhale, folding down, bent knees. Inhale, coming up to chair. Exhale, coming up. Inhale, breathing up. Exhale, folding down, bent knees. Inhale, coming up to chair. Exhale, straightening. 2 more times. Inhale, breathing up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up to chair. Exhale, coming up. Final time. As we notice the circle motion that is happening around us. As our body is reaching forward in the sagittal plane. I'm going to come down into a plank position. My shoulders are directly above my wrists. My feet are hip width apart, and I'm pulling back into a downward dog by allowing my hips to lift to the ceiling, the heels relaxing towards the floor, being okay if it's not. My ears are in line with my arms, so that I'm not looking up or down, and I'm keeping the length in my spine for now. I'm not ducking it. Still engaging, I'm feeling zipped up, I'm feeling the core, shape and colour. And as I'm staying in this downward dog position, I'm feeling my dog nature within me. Knowing that a dog does this to wake up or re-stretch. As we move into today's session, ready and waiting. From here I'm relaxed, but I can move as much as I need. I can spring up or I can relax down. We begin to pedal our feet, lifting up our right and then our left, as if we're walking on the spot, keeping our core zipped in and engaged. exhale, we're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. Noticing our natural breath. Really pushing and engaging against that floor to find the length in the back and the legs. And on your final exhale, heeling forward into plank, knees down, and into child's pose for 5 breaths. Allowing your body to relax here. Keeping grounded on the earth beneath you. Here you're going to peel forward again onto all fours as we come into our puppy pose. So bring our elbows to the floor. We're keeping our hips directly above our knees, and we're just allowing our arms to walk forward however feels comfortable. Keeping our gaze directly ahead and not down at the mat. We're feeling this openness and this playfulness as we start the session. We can imagine we're wiggling our tail, though we keep it still in our physical body. Noticing our natural breath. As we exhale, we slide our body forward or our legs back. And come back again into child's pose for 5 breaths. We know within us there is so much. We believe everything that we ever need is already within us. And sometimes we listen to some animals more than the other. And that is okay. We're not forming any judgment. But we're going to revisit some of our animals and some of the attributes, noting or taking with us what we need. Then exhale, we're allowing our body to roll up, head being last. We're going to do something called lion's breath. The lion is known as the king of the jungle. It's this strong protector. The male lion is seen as the head, this big mane, this big protection. But the lioness is the one that goes out and hunts. Each of them have a role to play, but each of them can look after themselves if they need. And right now we're going to channel that energy. We're going to release any tension that we sometimes hold within our jaw. We're going to find that power, that ability to work solo, but also within a pack. We're allowing ourselves to lean on others, knowing sometimes it doesn't always work, but that's okay because again we have our core self. So we're going to come again to all fours. I'm going to face you for this one. We're going to allow ourselves to be silly as well. That's why we just did the puppy pose where we worked at imagining we're being playful. My core is still actively engaged on my nice long line. I'm going to inhale, and with an exhale I'm going to come back, and I'm going to breathe out, sticking out my tongue, making a sound. So really allow my jaw to open as much as I can, and I'm tracing the journey with my hands. So then inhale, I'm coming to all fours, finding the length, the determination with an exhale. I'm allowing myself to open up because I've already had that strength I'm working on all fours, that determination. I'm already strong as I am, but I'm allowing myself to relax in my strength. So we're going to do 5 of these together, allowing yourselves to play with it. So, And just sit with that for a moment as we remember the determination and power we have when on all fours breathing in. And the release and the strength and the roar that we have as we breathe out. Remembering this, setting our intention in our body as we prepare to do this again. Opening our eyes and do 5 more rounds. Closing our eyes one more time as we notice the sensations in our body and in our mouth. As we set our intentions for the 3rd and final time, allowing ourselves to try through this lion breath. With every inhale, we're feeling grounded, supported and sturdy. With every exhale, we're feeling powerful and able to be open as we really stick out our tongue and notice the opening of our mouth, the circular motion of our mouth and the circular motion of our breath coming in and out. So we're going to reopen our eyes and do that for 5 more breaths for the final time. We're going to come back to our mat on all fours, shoulders above the wrists, knees above or underneath the hips. Allowing our fingers to spread, our toes are relaxed down. We imagine our fingers as our paws finding ground, feeling support from the earth. Keeping the length in the neck, the engagement in our core so we're not sinking. And this time as we go through our cat motion, again, it can be a continuation of this lion, or it can be what a cat means to you. We're engaging this movement this time from our core instead of our head and our tail. So with an inhale, I'm slowly bringing my core down to the ground, allowing my head and my tail to curve up as a result. With an exhale, I'm slowly imagining someone's pushing in, and this pushing motion is lifting my core up to the ceiling, and as a result, everything else being down. We're going to do this with our own breath in our own time, leading from the core and really feeling its engagement, squeezing into that space as we notice the curving circular shape of our body, how we can be like the water and the mountains as we're moving up and down as a wave, and being solid with our core lifted up to the ceiling as if we are a great strong mountain. We know as a cat that we can fall and we'll always land on our feet. We have this sturdiness, this grace, and also this great ability to relax. Some may say sometimes cats are lazy, but it's giving into its self-care, not worrying and not always on edge, because it knows if it needs to support itself, if it needs to land on its feet, if it needs to climb up the side of a mountain, it can and it will. So we're really engaging with our core. We're allowing it to shake and to wobble and to strengthen. We're supporting it with our breath. With every inhale, we allow the core to melt towards the ground. With every exhale, we're pushing it up as our mountain grows. We'll do 3 more of these in our own breath. Whenever you can, if you watch, we're going to see the second variation we're going to do. So with an inhale, I'm allowing myself to pull back, bring my knees down as if I'm coming into puppy, bring my head forward and up as if I'm licking a bowl in front of me. With an exhale, leaning forward, coming down, bring my chin to the mat, pulling back and lifting with that core. Again, straightening the back with an inhale, pulling back, reaching up as I lick what's in front of me, allowing the core to relax down. With an exhale, bending the knees, moving in the opposite way. And you're going to do this motion in your own time with your own breath as I speak above us again. And we notice the flow that we can create in the body here. But our main focus again is of our core shape. That though our arms, our back, our legs, our feet may be doing a lot of work, this is still being led by our core. As we remember the shape of our core, and we allow it to give us connections. We allow it to let ourselves trust ourselves enough to really move forward and back. Bring our chin closer and closer towards the mat. Really take risks. Our core reminds us if we need to pause and take some self-care, we can. If we need to go faster or slower, we can. Our core reminds us that we are safe as we're showing our agility and our strength and our grounding as we go with the flow, knowing it may not always be perfect, but that is okay. And your final breath, coming back down again into child's pose as we give ourselves some needed self-care and self-love. We're allowing ourselves to roll up with the head being last. And we're going to finish today's session. We've done puppies, we've done cats, with another pet that we can have. Though these animals can be wild, they can also be tamed. And starting to think maybe outside this session what that means to you right now. We go into our rabbit. Again, a wild or a tame creature. So to do this, again, we're bringing the top of our head to the mat. Our hands are holding onto our feet. And with an exhale, we're allowing our hips to lift up, actively pulling and engaging our feet and our hands and keeping our head planted where it is. We feel the stretch in the back and the arms. We're allowing the blood to rush around our body. We're feeling safe and protected as we form a big circular shape around our core being our centre. With an exhale, we're coming out into child's pose. Staying here for 3 breaths. Allowing ourselves to relax. As we come back into rabbit again, in our own time and hold in for 3 of our own breaths. Finding the length and imagine ourselves as a circle with our core in the middle protected. As we exhale and come back into child's pose for 3 breaths, we still notice where our core is, protected. It's protected within our body and it's protected within our pose right now. And again, we come into rabbit for the 3rd and final time for 3 of our own breaths. Noticing the protection we have, but the strength we have as well. And at the end of your 3rd breath, resting for the 3rd and final time in child's pose for 3 deep breaths. Allowing your body to relax, feeling light and easy. And as you take your last exhale, allowing the body to roll up, the head being last. So thank you so much again for joining in today's session, where tomorrow we'll continue to look at this animalistic instinct and what this means for us. Again, starting to think what this idea of wild and tame may mean for you and what these animals may have brought for you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.